So I asked Ann Fitz-Gerald, director of the Balsillie School of International Affairs, how the TPLF control of Lalibela is likely to affect the humanitarian situation in Tigray.
Well, Lalibela is a very well-known, very beautiful UNESCO cultural heritage site located in the northern part of the Amhara region in Ethiopia. And we're hearing that members of the rebel forces, the TPLF forces, have entered Lalibela, demonstrated their presence, looted residences and businesses, stolen vehicles, and brought those vehicles back north into Tigray. And this has created more internally displaced persons in the conflict. It has encouraged many Lalibela residences to flee the area. A classic insurgency tactic is to create a sense of insecurity amongst the people in effort to delegitimize the government, the federal government of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. And of course, Lalibela is the location of some very historic and wondrous rock-hewn churches, which form part of the cultural heritage site. And any damage to these cultural heritage edifices could be considered a war crime under international law. So whether or not we're about to see a second phase of this presence in Lalibela remains to be seen.
Well, is it aid or lack of it being used as a weapon of war by the Ethiopian federal government?
Well, there are many questions being asked about aid and access to aid at the moment, but I think we have to remember a number of things. First of all, that the conflict zone, because of the TPLF movement into these different regions, is effectively being expanded. So this expanded conflict that's been promulgated by the TPLF is blocking aid corridors, is causing damage to road infrastructure, and is effectively creating bottlenecks and delays. We have also heard reports of warehouses being looted, warehouses storing aid, government-owned aid in Mekelle. We've heard stories about aid trucks being turned back. And of course, there is a requirement by the Ethiopian government for all aid shipments and deliveries to be routed through Addis Ababa, the main airport. This is understandable from a customs and excise shipment delivery perspective, but also I think we have to remember what happened back in the mid-1980s. We're seeing the same tactics used by the TPLF that we saw then in terms of the redirection of aid, the misuse of aid, efforts to create a man-made famine, stage cross-border incursions, and memories are very fresh, and therefore the level of trust is very low amongst the Ethiopian authorities and the Ethiopian people.
Well, this week, the Ethiopian government suspended some international aid organizations, accusing them of arming Tigray forces without providing any evidence. What do you think is behind this?
Well, what we've heard from the government statements that have been issued is that a number of aid organizations have had their activities suspended because of what has been found in the resources that they are holding, such as what apparently are excessive cash stores, what are non-humanitarian items. And we've also seen some agencies come under criticism for posting what's been referred to as fake news and false narratives on their social media account. And this has happened to 2 or 3 organizations, but we understand that others are also under investigation. So reports are bound to come out over the coming days. What will be the outcome of aid organizations that are not fully complying with the rules and regulations. We are also made to understand that this is not based on one warning to these organizations, but multiple warnings. So I suspect we'll hear more information this week as to whether or not other aid organizations have been affected.